This episode was recorded outside at Jasper National Park, so if you hear the wind, birds, or maybe even a squirrel plotting against us, that's just part of the camping vibe. Thanks for rolling with it. Welcome to the Fender Gender Podcast.
I'm Emma, a trans man filmmaker and motorcycle lover just out here figuring shit out like the rest of us.
And I'm Maxine, your friendly neighborhood trans girl, lover of motorcycles, and part-time agent of chaos.
We're two trans folks with big feelings and bigger opinions, riding through life and talking about the shit nobody else wants to say out loud.
Every week, we unpack something real: gender, grief, passing, panics, friendships, families, all of it.
This is not your clean-cut corporate podcast. It's just us. No filters, no rules, no binaries.
Hello, Emma. How you doing?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been 2 days since we filmed our first episode.
We did. Today, we're in Jasper National Park.
Yay, camping.
Yeah.
It was so cold last night, huh?
Yeah, it was raining, and the tent was leaky.
But we made a fire this morning, so we're definitely in better spirit today.
We don't have our bikes in the shot today, though.
Yeah, they're over there.
Yeah.
But we have this beautiful scenery behind us.
Yes. I think we wanted to start off talking about some myths about motorcycles.
Yes,
What are some myths about motorcycles?
it's dangerous.
Is that a myth?
I mean, technically no, but anything is dangerous. You could be walking down the street and a car hit you. That's
True.
dangerous. Crossing the street is dangerous.
That's true.
Driving a car is dangerous. Maybe driving a car is a little bit safer than driving a motorcycle, but at the same time, it's still dangerous, you know?
That's true. Also, sometimes the motorcycle accidents are caused when people are speeding or driving drunk. In that case, it's obviously your fault. Well, we don't drive drunk. We would never speed either, right?
Sometimes when there are no cops.
Yes, on the back roads.
Yeah, definitely the back roads. Any other myths that you know about motorcycles?
Well, I remember one we were talking about, which is a myth that motorcycles will get you girls.
Yeah, that's a myth. Absolutely not.
So,
It's all men.
yeah, out of all the people who have said nice bike to you, how many of them are girls?
I think the only time that like a woman have like complimented me for my bike is if I met her online and I said, "Hey, I got a motorcycle. Do you want to go for a ride?" Then I go and pick her up. She's like, "Oh my God, like your motorcycle is like really nice." That's the only time. Like, cause like women, they'll come up to her and be like, "Oh, nice bike, dude." Like,
Yeah.
not really. It's all dudes.
Yeah, mostly old dudes too, but sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes young dudes. If you want to meet older men, you could get Grindr Plus, or you could buy a motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's a lot more expensive, but also it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, I was telling you, I was washing my motorcycle outside the other day, and there's this guy like walking around, was taking pictures, and then he came over and was like, "Oh, sick bike." I was like, "Oh yeah, it's a nice bike." And he's, "Oh, like, can I take a picture?" I was like, "I look like really shitty right now," and he's like, "Oh, it's okay. That's how it's supposed to look." And then after he was like, "Is this your bike?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh shit!" It's as if like he wasn't expecting me to have the bike. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's my bike." I was like, "Oh, that's so cool."
That's you're like standing right next to it. There's nobody else in sight.
I know. Why would I be washing somebody else's bike? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Unless they pay me, I would. Yeah, and I've made friends with my neighbor. I moved into my place. I've been living there for a year. My neighbor and I, we never spoke. And then I got my bike out of storage, parked it in front of the house. All of a sudden, we're besties. So if you want to make guy friends, definitely get a motorcycle.
Definitely.
Another one.
Yeah.
Can you go camping on a motorcycle?
Yes, you can.
Yes, absolutely you can.
What did your neighbor? How did your neighbor react when you were going camping on a motorcycle?
I was parking my motorcycle, and then there's this lady passing by, and she's like, "Oh, going camping?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm going camping." And she's like, "On a motorcycle?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "Okay." And then she just left. I think she was shocked.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We could talk about friendships after transitioning, how that affects your friendships, like what any like changes that have occurred in the friendship dynamics or things of that nature.
I feel like friendship wise for me, I didn't tell my friends right away.
Mhm.
I think I told my friends maybe like 2 years in.
Oh, really?
And it was probably because we didn't talk over the phone. So, for context, my friends are in Haiti and I'm in Canada.
Mhm.
So, usually we just be like texting. So, it was like, I think we had a Christmas call where we did a three-way call. And then one of my friends was like, "Oh, your voice is deep. You sound like a dude," type of thing. And I was like, "Yeah, actually, I'm trans."
If I sound like a dude, that's because I'm
Yeah.
a dude.
Yeah, and they were like, okay. They didn't make a big deal out of it at all. Before they knew that I identified as lesbian,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Yeah, I still love you and still be friends with you regardless." We've known each other for over a decade now. I feel like these are the most solid friendships that I had in my childhood. I feel grateful that the friendship still exists and they weren't like, "Oh, we don't want to be friends with you anymore. We're not accepting." Because
Mhm.
one of my friends, she's a cis, straight, she's an Adventist as well.
Oh, what?
So, Adventist. Is it
What's that?
It's like part of the Protestant religion.
Oh, okay.
It's like a branch.
Right.
She's religious and stuff. She's pretty liberal. And I came out to her as a lesbian when I was in high school. It was actually very, very funny. So I went to school in Haiti,
Yeah.
and we used to be like a group of like 6 friends. And I came out to all of my friends. And then there was this girl, one of the girls in the group that I was really, really close to. We would sit next to each other, we'd talk all the time. And then once I came out, she was like, "I don't want to be friends with you anymore." And I was like, "Why?" And she's like, she doesn't want me to have a crush on her. And
Classic.
yeah, and
Classic.
I'm looking at her like, "Girl, I'm not even attracted to you. You think I'm just gonna go around and fuck all the girls in the class?" And it's like, this person was my friend. And I'm the type of person, if I'm friends with someone, we're just friends. I'm not even gonna fall in love with you or anything like that. If it's a friendship, it stays a friendship.
Mhm.
And she was like, "Yeah, I don't wanna be friends with you anymore." So that created a bunch of drama. And then there was like another girl also in the group. She sided with her. So both of them left the friend group and it became 4.
Mhm.
So like my other 3 friends, they were like, "What the fuck? They're stupid." They thought the reason that they didn't want to be friends with me anymore was so weird.
Mhm.
And I told my other friends, I was like, "If you guys don't want to be friends with me anymore because I'm a lesbian, it's okay. We don't have to stay friends." And they were like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, shut up." And they just embraced me and then we stayed friends. Till now, we're still friends. And the other
Mhm.
2 girls, I don't even know where they're at right now. We haven't spoken since that day. They just moved to another part of the classroom. And then we never spoke with them. We would see them
Those
out.
bitches.
Yeah, we would see them in the class. We just wouldn't talk to them. So that was my experience coming out to my
Mhm.
friends in high school as a lesbian. But when I came out as trans, they didn't care, which
Mhm.
was great. As for like other friendships post transition,
Mhm.
a lot of people don't know that I'm trans because I pass and I'm pretty stealth. I tell people that I'm like really, really close to you, but also I don't feel like it's anybody's business to know.
Mhm.
If I'm not dating you, if you're not my best friend and you're not my personal space, I will not tell you because it's none of your business. What does that add? What does that change, you know?
It shouldn't change anything realistically.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like for all it's just like you're a dude. You just have that going on.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah,
What was it like for you?
complicated because like I also came out as like in stages kind of because I came out as bisexual when I was like 19 and I came out as trans when I was like 22. When I was in high school, I was kind of deeply in the closet, and the people I was hanging out with, for the most part, were not really great people. Like they're pretty like homophobic and stuff, and transphobic. And once I got out of high school, I like made some better friends and people who were like more accepting in general and stuff. And I made some friends with some gay guys too, and that kind of like allowed me to realize that I was bisexual. And eventually I came out as bisexual, and people are actually pretty chill with me coming out as bisexual for the most part. But I was I was just telling you about this, how people assumed that I was like really into guys when I came out as bisexual, and I was like, I don't know, like I was kind of into guys, but there were like only a few guys I was into. It was pretty rare for me. It was honestly pretty rare for me to be into girls too. Like I was just like doing my own thing for the most part, but like I actually went on so many Tinder dates when I was like 19, 18, and then I'd go on 2 dates with someone, and I like, for no reason, I would just be like, I don't know, I'm just not feeling this. Like they're cute, I like their personality, but no, I don't want to do this. But anyways, people were pretty chill with me being bisexual. They did make a lot of assumptions about me based on that, but people were like they're generally pretty accepting. I was hanging out with some gay guys, I was hanging out with some bi girls and stuff. I don't know if I actually met a lot of bisexual men in that period. I think I maybe met 2 bisexual men. And I mean, as we know, bisexual men don't really exist, right? Guys are either gay or straight. And all girls are bisexual, but lesbians don't exist.
That's by erasure here.
That's just a stereotype, right?
Yeah.
But then when I came out as trans, I feel like people were significantly less accepting than when I came out as bi. I feel like I was in like a crowd where people were trying to be like politically correct, so people weren't really like outwardly like, hey, I think this is stupid, I don't want to be friends with you because you're trans. But a lot of the friendships that I did have kind of just didn't work out when I came out as trans. I was even friends with like some non-binary people. I think they grew attached to the idea of me as a man who wasn't misogynistic, and then when I came out as trans, it kind of like maybe broke that image they had of me or something.
Oh.
And I don't know what it was exactly, but like they just kind of treated me weird, and
Yeah, I just want to add, there's like so much work that we need to do as a community when it comes like to accepting people for who they are.
yeah.
It's like, how can you be non-binary and then someone come out as trans to you, like, and you would just not affirm them and you would take it personally?
Yeah, it was weird. And it's not like they were like deliberately not affirming to me, but they just kind of like distanced themselves from me a little bit. And actually I was kind of dating someone at the time, and like our relationship was kind of, in my view, wasn't going great at the time. I was realizing I was trans, and then when I did come out, I was like, before that I broke up with her, and then like we kind of still talked a little bit though, and like a few months later I came out as trans to her, and she wasn't like outwardly hostile about it, but she said some things that were kind of like, I felt like they were kind of like turf adjacent kind of things, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I just kind of like distanced myself a little bit. And I still have a few friends from before I transitioned. I have one friend that I knew since I was 7. He's actually a cis-het guy, but he's pretty nice. And then I have people I actively talk to and hang out with. I'd probably have maybe like a handful of friends from like that I met when I was like 18, 19. And yeah, I don't know. But most of the people I'm close with these days, like the majority, I would say, I met like after I came out as trans. I feel like for me at least, it was like kind of easier to build friendships when people didn't have to like change their image of me in their mind. They just like, when they met me, they saw me like as a trans woman, and they just kind of accepted that. It's like they kind of accept that, or they don't talk to me. Whereas like people I'm already friends with, it's like, it's kind of like sometimes hard for me to tell if they still see me as a guy.
I do agree that post-transition friendship feels like easier for me as well.
I have so much of an easier time making friends these days.
Yeah, because now if you present yourself as a trans person, it's either the person is like accepting or they're not. If they're not accepting, then you move on, you know? We don't have to be friends.
Yeah. And for me, I'm 6'1". I haven't really done any voice training, so I'm not really passing all the time. I do contextually, like, remember there's that 80-year-old guy who was like, oh, can she keep up to you on the bike? But like,
did you say you had your helmet on?
I did have my helmet on. I mean, I work with people in my workplace, right? So I get a pretty good indication of whether I'm passing, because I just meet so many different people every day. And I would say it's like 50-50 for me. It's such a coin toss, but it's not often enough that like when I meet people, I'm just kind of like, they know I'm trans. It's just part of the package deal at this point. Yeah. And, you know, in the future, like when I'm further along the transition, like that might change a bit. I might be kind of just like deciding when's the right moment to tell them, or if to tell them.
Yeah, I feel like I'm at a point where I don't have to tell people anymore, which feels like great. But at the same time, I struggle a lot with being seen as a cis man because society has a twisted view of cis men in general. Not that cis men don't deserve it. A lot of cis men
Yeah.
are just like shitty, and it's like hard to find the good
It's
ones.
just some of them ruin it for the rest of you.
Exactly. And now that I'm passing, it's really hard for me because when I meet people, I want to make them feel like they are safe with
Mhm.
me. And I find that it is hard. It is hard for me to do that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, some guys just really ruin it for all of the guys by being horrible. And it's interesting too because I know what it's like to be perceived as a guy quite well, but at the same time, like I am quite suspicious of men in general. Like I've also learned it's a learned behavior for me too, because I've just been around enough guys and I'm like, oh, this guy seems nice, he seems chill, and then I'll just be like sitting there and then he like aggressively catcalls some woman and I'm like, whoa, like
Whoa.
I'm not going to talk to this man anymore. And it just like makes me gradually more suspicious of men.
Yeah, personally, I don't even have cis male friends. There's only one
I think I
guy.
have like one.
Yeah, what?
I think I have like one.
Yeah, there's only one guy that I know. I wouldn't say I would say he's an acquaintance. Because my definition of friendship is someone that I can talk to about certain personal things about myself. I can't really talk about that with him. All of my friends are women.
Yeah, probably the most of my friends that I'm close with are either trans or like some sort of queer variety sort of deal. And I don't really know a lot of cis men, like even gay. We could talk about this sometime, but there's a whole dynamic between trans women and cis gay men. Sometimes the cis gay men are not that kind to trans women.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's like an energy of like, oh well, you're taking it a bit too far with the femininity.
Yeah, even cis gay men, a lot of them are not nice at all to trans men.
No.
And they feel like we are taking over their space, or trans men don't belong in gay spaces. I'm like, a lot of trans men are gay.
Yeah.
A lot of trans men are into men. Like, if you're not into pussy, it's fine. There are bisexual men too. There are pansexual men. They are into that.
Yeah.
As a trans man, if you go on Grindr, your inbox will be popping off.
That's one thing about Grindr is if you're trans, you will get a lot of messages probably.
Yeah, mostly straight dudes though.
Mostly not the kind of messages that you really want to reply.
Yeah, I remember when I came out as trans to my ex.
Yeah,
that was a couple years ago. I always felt like that I was trans, but I was like, no, I'm lesbian. I'm just a stud. And we're dating for a while. We're dating 2 years. And then I randomly said one day, I'm trans. It wasn't so random. Because like she did bring it up. Sometimes she was like, do you feel like maybe you're trans or something? I was like, no, I'm not. And then one day out of nowhere, I was leaving her house and I was like, I'm trans. She was stood there, frozen like this. No reaction. I'm like, are you okay? And then I started bawling my eyes out. I was like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, no, it's fine. Like, I just was not expecting this. I was like, oh, okay. And then we still kept dating. Once we moved out, we moved in together. 6 months later, I got top surgery. And I remember my ex saying, oh my God, this feels so fast. I know that you're trans, but I wasn't expecting this to happen so fast. We just got here. And I'm like, well, like, I feel like this is the right thing for me to do right now. I do agree. It was fast. I got there, and then 3 months later, I got my health card for BC. And then I already contacted Transcare PC, and I had to get a family doctor, and then I had to ask them to give me a referral, and then I had to do the assessment. Like, I did all of that. I think we moved in April of 2021.
Okay.
And I had surgery in December.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, that was pretty quick. And then after I had surgery in December, I started T 3 months later.
Mhm.
So I do understand from her perspective, that was like really, really, really fast.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I felt like this was the best thing that I needed to do for myself. And I haven't regretted that. Top surgery definitely saved my fucking life.
Mhm.
Without it, I think I would be fucking miserable. I wouldn't be where I am right now.
Mhm.
So at that time, I felt like this was the perfect thing for me to do for myself.
Yeah, I would say like first I came out as non-binary. I was telling my friends, I was like, I don't know what gender I am. I'm just not a dude, okay?
The same way you're trying to figure out the.
Dear viewers, I have no fucking clue what my sexuality is right now. We're figuring it out.
I think you aside, at least for now.
Anyways, I identified as non-binary for like a few months, and then I was like, wow, everyone's still treating me like a dude. This fucking sucks. You know what? Fuck all of you. I'm a woman now. Okay. I'm a girl. I'm the other thing, right? And after a few months after that, I was like, I'm gonna get on HRT and that HRT was huge for me. Like even at the start, like before I was really seeing a lot of physical effects, like it changed my mood totally, and that like was so big for me. First, like I signed up for TransCare BC, and the wait list is kind of slow, so I was just making appointments with random doctors to see if they would do it for me. And the first doctor I saw was really uncomfortable, and then he said he would refer me to a psychiatrist, and I was like,
To a psychiatrist?
yeah. And in case you don't know, here in British Columbia, Canada, at least for now, there is an informed consent law. So if you are trans and you want transition-related care, you don't need to see a psychiatrist, actually. You just need to find a provider who's trained in that, and then say that, yes, I consent to all the things, and then they should do it for you. I found like a nurse practitioner who was trained in like the hormone therapy care.
Okay.
And so I didn't actually need to see a psychiatrist. I had an appointment with her, and she gave me like these forms, and it was like, here's all the possible risks of doing HRT, and here's how it's going to work. You're going to need to do blood work so and so often. And I read it, and I was like, yes, I understand. And then she gave me a prescription
Interesting.
in one appointment. It was amazing.
Because like I did my assessment for top surgery. I think that is mandatory. And then I think that assessment
Yeah.
also counted for HRT.
Okay.
So
yeah,
when
for
I-
surgery, I think you need an assessment.
Yeah, so when I was ready to start HRT, I asked if I needed to do another assessment. They were like, no, like since you already did that assessment, also counts. And then she was like, I have to refer you to an endo. So I had to see an endo, and then he gave me a prescription.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like there's not a lot of.
It's not linear.
I've talked to a lot of different trans people about how the stages of how they receive these medical care things, and like everyone's gone through a slightly different process.
Yeah.
It seems like there's not a lot of standardization going on.
Yeah,
So-
I feel like TransCare BC, they do give the information on how to do it from like step one. But at the same time, I feel like everyone is not doing it the same way.
yeah, it's because also I feel like there's not a lot of necessarily like knowledge among the doctors about what is the current policy and everything like that. Like this doctor straight up didn't know, and he was like, I don't know any of this is weird. Just here's a psychiatrist.
Nah, I think it was weird because my NP, she's not trained. When I got her first appointment, I told her what I wanted to do. She said, hey, like I don't have any of that knowledge,
Mhm.
but I will go and learn. And she said that she would get in touch with TransCare BC as well to learn the process.
Mhm.
So at least she was like open-minded. She didn't like shut me down. Whenever I need a referral, I just get an appointment with her and tell her what I need, and then she gets that done. Yeah, so I think he was a dick.
Yeah, I think he just didn't know what was going on. He was visibly uncomfortable. It was a very uncomfortable appointment for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry you went through that.
I mean, it's fine because I feel like we're pretty lucky here in this part of the world. Like I hear a lot of stories about what people in other countries have to do to
Absolutely.
get care, and I have some friends in the UK, right? And like even before the laws are becoming more regressive there, even before that, like getting trans care in the UK is a whole nightmare. And like
Yeah.
um,
Even in the US too.
yeah,
Like the stories that I'm hearing, and I'm like, oh, I feel like so grateful that I don't have to go through that here.
totally.
That's it for our second episode of Fender Gender.
If this episode resonated with you, we want to hear it. You can stay anonymous. We've got a submission link in the episode notes.
And if you want to support BG Talks and help us keep the mics rolling, head over to our Patreon. Every bit helps. We eventually have some bonus content coming your way, links in the description.
Next week, we're talking about another spicy one, dating as a trans person.
Subscribe, rate us, and tell your messy queer cousin to listen.
We'll see you next time.